Good morning, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So lots of great stuff to talk about today. The stats came out in regards to what's going on. So I'm always talking about what happened in the last week, but I'm also going to be able to compare what happened in the last month for the month of March, actually. So it's kind of behind a little bit, but basically, so I don't have the April numbers yet, but we're going to be able to look at what happened in March. So basically last week, there were 461 homes that sold. It was 449 the week before. The median price is $430,000. So that's down a little bit, but not of concern at all because, it varies from week to week, just kind of gives us an idea in regards to what's going on. And the inventory basically stayed the same because it went down by 5, and it's sitting at 6,550 single-family homes that are out there. So breaking that down, under 250, there were 19 of the 461 that sold that were under 250,000. Between 250 and 300, there were 56. Between 300 and 400, there were 126. Between 400 and 500, there were 94. Between 500 and a million, 134. And then over a million, there were 32. So basically, when you're looking at the list to ask price on it, we're at 97.54. Under 250, they were at 94.78. Again, needing some work usually. Between 250 and 300, they were 97.33%. Then we go up to 98.28, 98.98. and 98.15 all the way between 300 and a million. And then over a million, we're at 94.98. So the thing that I've noticed in the last few weeks that's different is that basically those houses that are between 250 and 300, now they've got a little bit more negotiating room in them as well. And that was something that didn't exist before. They were kind of up there with everybody else, but the number of those is going down, 56, which that used to be at about 100. And the under 250 used to be more at 50, and that's at 19. So the market's kind of inching up a little bit is what it looks like from that standpoint. The average days on the market is 53, is basically what's going on with that. Now, when you're looking at condos, townhomes, and villas, there were 133 last week, and it was 146 the week before. The median price is down a little bit to $284,000, which is good because last week it was over $300,000. And so I said last week that we were going to look and see if that was a trend. Now, it's been more at like 260, 250, so 284 is still higher than it has been, but that's where we're at right now. And their inventory increased by 18, and it's 2989 in the condos, townhomes, and villas. So breaking that down under 250,000 is obviously going to be a much higher number, basically on that, but not a whole lot. Of the 133, 27 of them were under 250. Between 250 and 300, there were 48. Between 300 and 400, there were 30. Between 400 and 500, there were 17. Between 500 and a million, there were 10. And then over a million, there was another one that sold over a million last week. So that's all good as well. So basically, when we're breaking that down, the months of inventory that we're looking at overall in the condos, townhomes, and villas is at 5.19. The final list to ask price is at 97.07, pretty close to the single family homes. So 96.55 and 96.87 up to 300. And then the 250 was 96.55, obviously. And then when we're looking at the 300 up to a million, they're at 97.71, 97.38, and 97.85. And then the one over a million went at 89.17. So again, under 300,000, you've got a little bit more negotiating room, and then over a million. And the average days on the market there was 63. So they're holding their own pretty good in regards to what's going on there and everything as well. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, is that looking at the state of the market, the inventory overall, and this is including, single family homes, condos, townhouses, everything's when we're looking at month to month. And this is March of 2024 versus March of 2023. So the inventory was at 8971 for everything at the end of March of 2024. It was at 5,052 in 2023. So the inventory has increased substantially. When you looked at in 2022, it was only at about 1,000. So we're kind of heading toward that normal market, but we're definitely taking our time getting there. Now, the pendings is the same, right around 4,000 that we're sitting there at. 2020 for 2023 was 2936. So we had a few more sell in 2023 than we did in the month of March of 2024. But the price is up by 5.9% year over year. And this is the median price of everything. So it's going to be a lot lower than what, we're talking about on a week-to-week basis. So, because this is houses, condos, everything all together. So in 2024, we were at 386.5 for our median sales price. We were at 365 in 2023. And in 2022, we were at 361. So our market has increased, at least in the month of March by almost 6%. So that shows that, for the last 2 years, we were kind of hanging along, being very close, and we're just going up a little bit. So we're not going up substantially, but a steady growth is what we obviously like to see. The days on the market in 2024 was 58. The days on the market in 2023 was 57. The month supply, 3.51 in 2024 and 1.72 in 2023. So that was the biggest thing, obviously, was the change in the inventory. Now, if you're looking at the interest rate in 2023 was at 6.71 and 2024 was 6.7. So very similar. But in 2022 is at 4.2. So we had started to go up. So that's basically, what's been going on in the market. So the good news is for you homeowners is that the market prices are increasing a little bit. So again, that comes down to if you're looking at making a purchase, maybe you're a first time buyer or something, it would probably be in your best interest to go ahead and make that purchase now rather than later if they're going up. Now, if interest rates are coming down, then you'll always be able to refinance and everything, and that would be something that you could do. There are buy downs that you can do for the first couple of years. I just did another loan this week, another closing with this week. I didn't do the loan. I did the closing, and they had a 2-1 buy down. And as a result of that, what that did for the homeowner is it took it down like $400 the first year and like $300 the next year. And so basically what that's going to do is when, in the next couple of years, they're thinking that the interest rates are going to go down. And so as a result of that, they're going to be able to refinance and have a great deal and everything going on at that point in time. So basically, that's what they're looking at doing, but they are qualified at that higher rate. So they were able to, get a brand new house, move in and use the money that they got from the builder to buy down the rate for the first few years. And so it wasn't an inventory house. It was a house that they picked everything that they wanted and got exactly what they wanted, went under contract about 9 months ago. So basically, you can do whatever you want to in that, but locking it in is always the best solution, in my opinion, for what you want to do today. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, your host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So basically, I wanted to go into today for sellers, should you renovate before selling? So I'm going to talk about that first and some different things in regards to what's going on in the market. As I mentioned in the last segment, that the prices are actually going up, 6%, 5.9% to be precise, from year over year from 2023 to 2024. So that's something that definitely, if you're a buyer, you might want to look at what's going on and everything out there, because I can guarantee that if the interest rates do start to decrease, which who knows if they will or not, it's like the news is kind of all over the map on that. But if they do start to decrease, then we're going to run into multi-offer situations and really tough to get property and all of that kind of good stuff. I did sell a house last week, and we put it on the market and sold it in a couple of days, which is quite common right now if you have it priced right. If the houses are not priced right, then those are the ones that are sitting on the market. And, ours are anyway. The ones that we're pricing right are going off right away because of our marketing and our strategy in regards to get it done and everything like that. So it's making it, pretty painless, and that for the seller, if you want to do it and everything. So the biggest question that I think people have when they're putting their house on the market is, should they renovate before selling, or what should they do, and all of that kind of stuff, and just looking at what is the situation that they might want to do if they're thinking about selling their home. So one of the things that I do as a free service is I actually come out there and look at your house and let you know if there are things that you can do to make more money on your house, if you would do it, if it would make sense to do it, or if it would make sense to not do it. And so that's just something that, we're happy to do for you as a free service, in our opinion. I mean, obviously it's our opinion and all of that kind of thing in regards to what you want to do. But if you want to know if you should renovate before selling, the first thing that you need to do is you need to think about the state that your home is in, to make an honest look at your house and imagine you were buying it. And one of the, you have to look at all things when you're coming to your house. I mean, the first thing that you have to look at is the curb appeal of the house itself in regards to when you're pulling up, what the neighborhood looks like, what your particular home looks like in regards to the neighborhood and everything, and, what you can do to make it better and all of that. So it might be mulch, it might be pulling weeds, definitely making sure that you've got a good, haircut on the house, meaning the grass and the shrubs and all that kind of stuff are trimmed, and that everything looks good from that standpoint. Maybe putting some flowers out front, if not in the ground, then maybe in a planter or something that has that welcoming vibe and feel when people, come up to your house. That then when they go into the house, the next thing that you want to be aware of is the smells and the look and the cleanliness and all of that kind of stuff. And, people aren't looking for the plug-ins, kind of smells and that kind of stuff. They're looking for the natural smells that come along with it. So, a clean smell is always good. They always talk about, if you're doing an open house and putting cinnamon or something, on the stove, baking fresh cookies, those kinds of things that can make it smell good. But the thing that you need to be concerned about is if you have pets and if there are pet owners. And I know that, if you live there all the time, it might be that you don't, you don't smell those things on your own. So you might need somebody else to do it, but you need to look at it with fresh eyes. So what that might mean is taking pictures on your phone and then looking at those pictures, and you're going to see a lot more clutter in those pictures than you see on your house without taking those pictures. You're going to say, oh my gosh, this is something that I want to put some attention to, or something like that. The next thing that you want to look at when it's, you want to be renovating before selling is what's the state of your local market. So when the inventory was down to about less than a month's supply of inventory, it wasn't as important for you to have a house that looked great. Because basically, everybody was kind of like, okay, I'll take what I can get. And so there weren't a lot of choices, and that one looks like it's good enough. That is not what the market is that we're in today. So in today's market, when you're thinking about it and looking at it, you do have competition of the houses that are in really good shape. So you definitely want to make sure that your house is also in really good shape, so that it's going to stand out. And that starts again with the curb appeal like we talked about. And so you might have to do something if you haven't painted for a long time and there's marks on the walls to make sure that those are, in their best foot forward and everything to make everything look good. The next thing that you want to look at is you want to look at your return on investment. So basically when it comes down to it and you're making renovations on your house, the return on investment is really something that you need to be aware of. For example, I've had people say, okay, well, I changed out the windows. Well, the windows are not necessarily something that's going to stand out glaring to the buyer, and they may or may not appreciate that. I mean, they're going to appreciate it, but they may not appreciate the amount of money that you spent on replacing the windows. Some people will, but most people won't. But the air conditioner, if you replace that because it's on its last years of life, just because it's like 15 years old or something like that, and you replace the air conditioner and you've got a new air conditioner, that's something that people are going to say, wow, I want that new air conditioner. And so you have to really look at, what the return on investment is on the things that you're going to put in there. And each market is different in looking at that. So the roof is also something that comes to play because the new owner may not be able to get insurance if the roof is too old. So again, that's something that you have to look at to see, what's going to be your best bet. And so most of the time it's better to freshen up rather than renovate 100%. But that's something that you have to look at. Done right, kitchens or bathroom remodel can help you sell a home for more money. But if you get it wrong, it can become a money pit. So you definitely want to look at, what you can do. Basically, the blank canvas is the best thing to have, which means that your paint colors are neutral and somebody can come in there and go, this is great. I don't have to do anything right now, but I do want to make that an accent wall, and then they can decide what they want to do and everything in order to make it happen. But kitchens and bathrooms are something that you want to make sure shine in whatever way that you can. I was working with a seller a month or so ago, and one of the things is that they had made everything shine in there, and they had moved out and everything. And the thing that they had is the original carpet, in the bedrooms, and everything else looked great. And so they tried to clean them, but they were 20 years old. And so it showed it and they knew it. Well, they have a friend who's in the carpet business, but they were actually able to change out the carpets and have brand new carpets in the bedrooms for $1,000. So they went ahead and they changed them, and it made all the difference in the world in the way that it looked, and their return on investment was huge because there were no complaints. They got over asking price, everything that they wanted, sold their house in a couple of days. So it was well worth that $1,000 to put in, to put that carpet into the bedroom, and then, basically everything looked brand new in that house, and it absolutely was. So having that blank canvas and not anything that somebody would need to do, and I know a lot of people say, well, they might want to change it and have their own colors and stuff like that. But if they can move in and do it a year later or something like that, that makes it a lot more appealing to them. But in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, the host of of Central Florida Real Estate Radio, and I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I was talking last segment on basically should you renovate before selling, and I didn't get all the way through it. And basically, what we were talking about is creating a blank canvas, kitchens and bathrooms when the renovations. But really, it comes down to making sure you don't develop or over renovate and that kind of stuff. The ROI is really important, which we talked about. But one of the things that you do want to do is that you might want to fix small and annoying problems. And it's easy to live with minor problems like a stiff door or a dripping tap, but it's well worth fixing these small things before you sell your house. For buyers, these minor inconveniences can stand out like a sore thumb, and they also view your home as what else is going to be going wrong with it. I recently sold a house to a buyer, and they did an inspection and all of that kind of stuff. And this person is very particular. They like things very nice, clean, and they are very good about doing all of that stuff. And they had bought previously, about a year ago, they had bought a new condo villa, and everything was perfect inside it. Like, they made sure that that everything was more than okay, with that house. So everything is, they just like things to be nice. So they definitely want to do that. So the house that they bought, from an inspection standpoint, everything came out good. The house is about 5 years old and everything. But once they got in there, the house was a second home, admittedly, so the people weren't there on it, all the time. But there were a lot of little things that they ran into that they didn't expect to because of the, just the way that it was. So, it's like when you find a buyer like that, which a lot of people are, they're looking at all of the little things to see how they can knock some money off of the price and that kind of stuff. So if you do have these glaring things that are that you see, like a dripping faucet, those are things that you want to take care of. And just like oiling the hinges, plain or trim oversized doors and that kind of thing in order to make it happen. And then we talked about the curb appeal, that it's the first thing that many buyers will see when they come up to your house. And if they don't like the curb appeal, they're not even going to come in. And that's the last thing you want, is for them not to visit you. That's the whole purpose of why you've got your house on the market. So you want to make sure that you do that. So you want to make sure that you can, everything works best for your particular circumstances. So if you're looking to move out quickly and don't mind leaving a cash on the table, maybe you don't want to renovate before selling. So basically, as I mentioned in the last segment, one of our free services that we do is we're willing to sit down with the sellers, go ahead and figure out, what's the best thing for you in regards to getting things done. And we do have a company that we work with that will actually do the renovations and get paid at closing. So we do have that option, but we have more options than that as well. So, I know that if you've been listening to us for a while, you might be aware of our cash offer program and everything that we have out there. And it's a platform that instantly delivers cash offers for all home types up to $3.5 million. So basically, when we can put any address in there, actually any address throughout the country, and we can get cash offers on your home. And so we can do it quarterly and update it quarterly so that you have it. And perhaps you want to sell and accept an offer. It's very simple. All you have to do is give us a call. But we can get those to you. Our offers are valid for 30 days. And so basically, when it comes down to it, there are several options within this cash offer program as well. First of all, it's like you can cash, your home and then just sell it. That's one thing. Get straight cash for it. Basically, what happens on this is some of these investors are actually going to resell it. And the way that they operate is that they give you a price, but if after they sell it and more money is in the deal than what they anticipated, they will give that back to you as the seller. So you truly are getting, market value and that kind of thing, on the house. There's another program that's a sale and leaseback, which I think is awesome as well. And on this particular program, what happens is that you're able to sell your home and then you can rent it up to a year before moving on to the next property. So if you are building a new home or want to build a new home and you're concerned about selling your house at the right time, you could go ahead and sell it right now and still continue to live in it for a year. So that's a great opportunity and everything as well. There's another property owner deal that we have out there that basically what they will do is that they will, again, buy your home and resell it, and they also will give you the proceeds above whatever they contracted to sell you for. But if it's a loss, then they put that into their pocket. But they do keep a little bit of a cushion to make sure that everything's going to go and all of that kind of good stuff. But basically, the bottom line is on these particular situations, to get these cash offers, it's really, in my opinion, where I think that the whole real estate market is heading. It's becoming more and more this way. When these cash offers, first came out, and I think it was on last week's show that I explained that over time, over the last 20 years, with several studies that had been done, they found that if you take cash for your house, you're going to get about 8% less. So some of these companies' fees are about 6%. So basically, you're getting market value, but you're going to pay an additional 6% in order for that to happen. Not all of them, but some of them. So basically, when it comes down to it, you definitely want to look at, what you want to do, what you're looking for, as a person in regards to what's going to happen, with you and your family and everything of, what's going on. So, wow, my phone is ringing off the hook here this morning. But basically, when it comes down to it, you definitely want to look at what's going to be the best situation for you and your family in order to make the best things work. So whether that's renovating your house, getting full market value for it, or if it's one of these cash offers. So basically, our program is out there, and we do have so many investors and everything. Our next phase of this platform, which will be out in the next quarter, will be if you're an investor and you want to be one of the investors that can also give offers on these properties, then that's going to be an opportunity for investors and everything as well. So we're really excited about that's something that we can definitely do, and, is something that differentiates us. We're always on the leading edge in regards to what's going on out there in the marketplace and try to stay ahead of it so that we can help you as the consumer. And basically, what it does is it gives you clarity in regards to, what you can expect for your home. You can do it on your time frame, all of those kinds of things. And then the other thing that it does, but it also gives you opportunities to maybe put a little bit more money in your pocket if you don't want to go down that path. So everybody's a little bit different. So we have all of the opportunities for whatever way that you want to do it. But, when we're putting a house on the market and we're able to get top dollar for it, we're finding that basically is, the way a lot of people want to go, but it's not the way all people want to go. So we want to make sure that we have the solutions for everybody. And we didn't have those 6 months ago, but we do have them today. And that's kind of why we talk about them more than maybe more than what you think we should. But basically, we want to make sure that everybody's aware out there that there are different opportunities out there, other than the ones that might advertise on TV or the radio and that kind of stuff. We definitely have different things available for you. But in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we will see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Laura Peterson, the host of Central Florida Real Estate Radio. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I've been talking a lot, about sellers earlier today, so I just figured we'd switch gears a little bit and talk about buyers. And, Dave Ramsey came out this week and said, now is the time to buy. And it's kind of consistent with what I was talking about with the stats. Well, it is consistent with what I was saying with the stats earlier. Dave Ramsey is the personal finance author and host of the Dave Ramsey Show, and take a look at the housing market and see basically, what makes sense to you now. Basically, the houses are going up and the interest rates aren't changing is basically what's happening at this particular point in time. And I talked about that at the beginning of the show, that in the Orlando market that March from year to year, the market went up 5.9%. So basically, that's a nice increase. That's basically what we like to see on an annual basis. If that happened every year, I think everybody would be very excited about that because it's growing and, heading in the right direction. So with that just makes home ownership a little bit better. And you guys all know if you don't own out there and you rent, that the rent prices have kind of stabilized a little bit, but they are significantly higher than they were years ago. And so basically the reasons that Dave Ramsey thinks that it's a good time to buy is because there's a lot of speculation that interest rates are going to go down sometime in late 2024 or 2025. And when that happens, that's going to encourage more people to buy homes, and sellers are going to respond with an increase in the demand by raising prices. And that's absolutely correct. And then you can always refinance at some point in the future. And, probably if you're interested, we have all these calculators and everything that we can figure out for you what your situation is and sit down and say, okay, if you bought this home at this price and, this is how much, what your payment was going to be and all of that kind of stuff. And then if you look at it 5 years from now or even a year from now and the prices went up 5.9%, basically where you would be in the picture maybe a year from now, 5 years from now, and all of that kind of thing to actually help you make that decision. So basically, when it comes down to it, you have to make a housing decision on what's best for you at this particular point in time in regards to what's going to be best for you and your family and where you're going to want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, and all of that kind of thing. And if you don't own a home now and you get into it later, and it's more expensive, then you might be buying a smaller house then that what you would be buying now. And so it's just going to delay getting eventually what you want potentially. And so I'm just a firm believer in looking at everything now and planning for the future and making that decision to decide what's the best way for you in the way that you want to go. And that's what I always think is the best thing that you want to do. So if you are a new homeowner, however, and you get the chance to put your own stamp on your home, which is one thing that you get to do, obviously. And, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you know where the main water valve is. If you've got gas, which a lot of people do not have in Central Florida, that you might want to know where that is as well. Obviously where the main breaker is and what you can do in regards to that, how you need to take care of that. But, make sure that you're familiar with your home. You just kind of get into it and figure out, exactly, what you want to do with it and everything. One thing that you want to do is create an emergency fund in case you have anything unexpected. That's whether you're a homeowner or not. You want to have that emergency fund that you can have in order when anything is going on that you might need. You can have an energy audit. We actually have a company that we can refer you to that will do this, on our recommendation for free, but they are saying that an energy audit is $425, and that'll show you with increased efficiency and lower energy bills. It'll identify areas of energy loss, poor insulation, and opportunities to reduce water, gas, and electrical usage. So that's something that you'll want to do. You want to go over your homeowner's insurance. This is something that you definitely want to, be in contact with your agent. You want to shop it every year to see what you can do. And the better coverage that they can give you, the more that you learn about it. And when it comes to your homeowner's insurance, when you got into your house, you probably had wind mitigation and a 4-point inspection if your house is a little bit older. And with those things, you're going to get lower insurance by those kinds of inspections being done. You also want to create a year-long maintenance plan that basically you want to make sure that, just like you're checking the batteries on your smoke detectors to make sure that everything is going the way that it should. Just, checking your weather stripping. I noticed one of my doors needs its weather stripping changed, and definitely before any storms come along, you're going to want to get that going and all of that kind of stuff. Create an upgrade wish list of things that you might want to do, whether it's changing the flooring, changing the kitchen counters, all of that kind of thing that might help with you as well. Check the ages of your major appliances. If it breaks down, you might have different things that you want to consider and that kind of thing. And you might want to create a homeowner's binder that you put everything in. I have a drawer that I put everything in and keep everything there, but it would be more organized if I actually had a binder that I had that kind of stuff in. So everybody's a little bit different in what you want to do, but one thing that you definitely want to do if you're a new homeowner as well, I know it's past the time for this year, but you definitely want to apply for that homestead exemption if you are eligible for that. And you want to do that through your county, and your county property appraiser can tell you what to do. The tax collectors usually can tell you what to do as well. But you definitely want to do that. And I suggest that you do that as soon as you close on your home, and just make it as one of the things that you want to do so that it's done for the future and you don't have to worry about it. It has to be done before March 1st of the year after you purchase it, or of any year. And I had some friends that, I didn't work with. I didn't know them at the time that they bought their house, but they after 5 years later, they said, hey, we don't understand. Our mortgage is really going up and we don't know what's going on. And it was that their house had not been homesteaded. And so their property taxes had actually tripled, and they didn't need to do that at all if they were in a different scenario and all of that kind of stuff. By just homesteading the house is all they had to do. It probably would have taken like 15 minutes to do it, and they just didn't know about it. And so I just always want to make sure that I remind everybody about that on a consistent basis, because it's really important. So now it's time to talk about our property of the week, and this is a vacant lot. Now this is actually over 2 acres, and it's in Lake Wales, and it's actually got its own private pond on it. And the private pond takes up, I'm not sure how much of it, not a ton of it, but it does take up a little bit of that lot. And so you have a beautiful view. If you want to own the whole lot, you can buy the house next door. But this particular lot, over 2 acres, is $79,000. So it is definitely a great deal. So, in order to get in touch with us, just call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at Central Florida Real Estate Radio. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.